It's that time again, ladies and gentlemen. Time for another exciting episode of Tar Heel by Dark. This evening we have a interesting turn of events, something we've never done before in Tar Heel by Dark, an NPC-led scene, which brings us to the Wake District this evening, home of the Prince, as well as the Prince's Council. We find ourselves just a little south of the Red Cross headquarters, North Carolina.
There is outside a great mass of people who have disembarked from a number of large vehicles that are, sorry, I'm just gonna, there we go. A number of large vehicles, all dressed in black, many of whom have crosses and other livery upon their uniforms. They look angry, their eyes burning with rage. With a single gesture from their leader, they move towards the door, breaking, beating, kicking, until it splinters in under the weight of their assault. You would think that alarm bells would start to ring. They don't. There is no sound save for their chanting as they enter the blood bank of the greater Tar Heel area. Some of them shout litanies to God, others scream their devotions in other ways. One by one, the blood packs are removed from their cold storage. Yes, precious sanguine blood, and they are thrown upon the floor in an abattoir heap, the smell of the fetid material mixing with the clean smell of the noxious chemicals. From behind them, a tall man stands, overseeing this barbarity, this cleansing. His mouth curls in a sick, sadistic smile as he utters the words, "And all things are by the law purged with blood, and without shedding of blood there is no remission of sin." Yes. Now, Brother Marcus, have our men seen to their devotions? The voice comes quick and clean and stern.
Stepping out of the shadows behind him is a tall man in a long dark coat. Already his fingers flicking across his rosary beads. I think so, sir. Although I'm not quite sure there'll be enough devotions that can be done here. These creatures.
We do the Lord's work tonight, brother. Needless to say, if they cannot find a place to feast, they will be brought out into the open, and there, neath God's shining light, shall they be struck down as the anathema they are. So shall it be written, so shall it be done.
I merely fear that these things might turn upon the innocent.
Indeed. However, oftentimes the innocent must martyr themselves, so that the good may do their just and godly work.
Amen.
They move back. There are approximately 5 or 6 others with them who are throwing the blood packs to the ground and stamping on them. The entire place looks like a carnal battlefield, the amount of blood that has been spilt. Liters upon liters stain the floor. The father, who is dressed in long dark robes, but you can see the glint of steel underneath them, a sword affixed to his belt in the true style of any Jesuit priest, dips his hand into the blood and walks to the wall, where he anoints it in the sign of the cross, and beneath it he writes, "Phobos sectornum ite et eternus," translating as, "Fear the seven, they watch eternal," before he flicks his hand and cleans it with a silk handkerchief. I am led to understand that this is just one of many such places that these anathema draw their supplies. Yes, though it may be unfortunate, and though we may have to, how would one say, deprive those who truly need this blessed life force. Hopefully we may starve out this cancer that infects this place.
True. But Brother Marcus crouches over the blood and actually picks up one of the packs and puts it between his fingers. Is there not some way we could remove the taint from this? Or perhaps tainted for the anathema?
I feel as though it is best to simply deny them their sustenance, as opposed to tainting the blood. After all, tainted blood could be given to the innocent, and while, as I have said, some may be required to martyr themselves for the cause, I would rather keep casualties to a minimum.
Perhaps taint then is the wrong word. I think perhaps in terms of a mass carried to ask the Lord to keep its blood from these monsters.
This is not a bad concept, Brother Marcus. Perhaps in the next place that we are forced to liberate from their taint, we shall leave them a more suitable calling card. However, he raises his voice to the assembled holy warriors as he sees them, and says, "We have tarried here long enough. We must be on our way. No doubt the authorities, though they are slack and slow, will soon be upon us," he says as he strides towards the door.
Brother Marcus goes along, taking out a lighter with his brother, in his other hand, flicking it open, lighting it, closing it, and repeating.
"Put this place to the torch, Brother Marcus."
"As you wish." He stops by a duffel bag, opens it up, and takes out several large cartons of lighter fluid, and walking around the bush, just sort of spraying it liberally. After a few seconds, the place is doused. Takes out what's effectively like a bottle of wine, or what looks like it, unscrews the top, inserts a wad of fabric, lights it, and throws it. In a matter of seconds, the whole place starting to burn. He leaves the building.
Excellent. I guess if Josh wishes to arrive, now is the time.
So, basically, after this whole attack has taken place, what will eventually be seen as things begin to kind of smolder up is a overly large golden eagle swooping in, seeing the smoke and flames in vivid detail, and it'll just sort of scream down in a kind of a clarion call, like, a hawk or a bird of prey would. Just sort of hanging loose behind one of the hospital shrubberies, and then reappearing in a human form. The human form in question is bulky, with quite a lot of muscle definition, and an astonishing amount of physical strength to it. But the most striking thing about a particular individual is the angelic beauty that just seems to emanate off of him. Given the fact that the man has appearance 5, it's just, a stated fact. He's a gorgeous fiend, a Luciferian tempter, in answer to these pious fools and their demands of blood and sanctitude.
So, Josh, as you've and you were smelling it long before you ever touched down. The whole place has that smell of freshly spilt blood. It also has the smell of flesh, of burning and or currently burning and burnt flesh. It smells as one would smell of a great battlefield many hours after the battle had commenced. There you also see that there are a number of individuals that have escaped the building. Some of them still on fire. A couple of them actually acting to put out the others. You see, there is one individual that has fell to her knees as she has cried out to the heavens, begging for mercy.
Mm. And how bad off is this woman screaming?
She seems like she's physically okay, but she's severely traumatized.
Oh, so basically what I'm able to rationalize this as is PTSD. Not really.
Just standing off to the side, down a side alley, the father will turn to Brother Marcus and simply say, I do believe that our quarry has arrived. I knew that they would come out of the woodwork.
Hmm.
That's all. Continue going. We will make our presence felt in a little while.
Oh, go ahead. Well, basically, being that he is of the complete opposite persuasion, he would most likely just rationalize this as PTSD. Um, and move in to kind of inspect the site and see what's going on there. So I'll make a quick perception investigation roll and see how that goes. And one success. Obviously, I know shit's burning.
Yeah, clearly. That's you could tell that from the smell of the place. Um, the whole place. This wasn't accidental. Nothing
Mm,
about this is accidental, and that's all I'll give you on one success. But it's clear.
okay. Um,
As
going.
Nathaniel steps away from looking at the burning building, he will see a group of people dressed in black with religious icons hanging from them, crosses and such, and one man standing behind them looking at him with very piercing green eyes. Yes, burrowing into him and him alone. He seems to extend a hand, almost as if beckoning him to come forward. Yes. Yes, step here, my child. Come. Come.
Hmm. Shall we dance then, Reconquista?
So, you come to see your burning meal. How romantic. Shall we dine by candlelight, perhaps?
Hmm. And he'll reach back into the black leather trench coat that he usually wears and check to make sure the axe is there and just kind of slip his hand around it.
Would it not
As
be
you
safe
do,
to say that the
I,
instant he's reaching around the back, we go straight for our crosses?
Mm-hmm.
okay, but let me say that once you wrap your hand around it, you hear, "Please do not follow us anymore.
And with that stiffening
I
my
have no
resolve,
quarrel with you using me."
and with that kind of stiffening my character's resolve, he'll swing around and move to engage. Rolling initiative. Oh.
As you do so, Josh, I don't believe there is a saving throw for this. I don't think there is. Um,
Which dot you using?
just the one to keep him back.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
If there was one, it would probably be
and
something
there's
like.
not one.
Okay.
There's not one. It's all on you.
Okay.
He flicks his wrist. The priest definitely flicks his wrist, and a cross comes from his sleeve into his hand, and he motions at you, back, back in the name of he who sits on high. I command thee. And Josh, you
Roll
feel
3.
pushed by a weight, as if something is physically pushing you back.
Mm-hmm. Okay. By the way, just checking initiative rolling. And 10! Woo!
Usually,
Good.
Look at
usually
that.
Evan, we'd make you roll 3 for this, just to see how far back it is. Actually, yeah,
Okay.
do that.
Yep.
Roll 3 to see how far back it is.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's he cannot come within 8 feet.
Actually, Josh, what's your willpower?
My willpower is 8.
Okay, difficulty 8.
Okay.
What was the roll on difficulty 8?
I haven't made it yet. I was just rolling initiative, and I've got that marked down.
Wait,
Okay.
what the? That's a fail.
He rolled a 10 on his initiative.
Huh?
Mhm.
He rolled a 10 on the initiative.
Rolled a 10. Well then, I'd say that he goes first.
What should
Anthony,
we call
let's
this?
roll some initiative. Let's do that thing.
But we don't have dice.
Shut up. We'll make them up as we go along.
Roll them bones.
Roll a d10 and we'll see what happens.
Yep, he goes first.
Okay, hold on. For some reason I have to re-add dice stream.
Woo,
Yeah.
Google.
And we could actually give you some reasonable stats here.
Okay. I roll a 6. So I'm going to say that's a total of 12. 3 index and widths.
That's probably about apt.
That would be about right. Yeah. Actually, they should already be statted. Go look on the
Yeah.
look on the plot Bible. They're already heavily already base statted.
One captain and one non-captain.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got listed dice pools. So
Yeah. You just make adjustments as needed. But
okay.
yeah. Either way, Josh is gonna declare first. Either way.
Okay, what are you doing, Josh?
Okay. So, just so I know for clarification, did that roll to keep me back with this wall of faith energy do anything?
Yeah.
What?
It would have.
Mhm.
How many successes?
We see, basically, I rolled his dice to do it, where he actually rolled 2 successes, and then I was told to roll 3 more, which I think is how many feet you get pushed back. I think that's the thing. Is that not how it works?
It's no. It's you roll based on his willpower,
Yep.
and each success is the number of steps backward, which is essentially 2
essentially
feet,
a
2
foot.
3 feet.
Yeah, essentially about a foot or two.
Okay, cool. So basically, Josh, you were forced back approximately 2 to 3 steps, aka forced backwards. There's essentially a bubble of you ain't coming closerness.
Yeah. Basically, what
Yeah.
I'm going to do.
You will not be able to get within melee of him. Let's say that.
Yeah. Alright. And this person is looking directly at me, so I don't necessarily have to get within melee range.
Okay.
It will.
Correct. Yes.
I have my duffel bag.
Ooh, duffel bag.
I'm
Hang on,
I'm going
let him do his dominator presence roll because he does have the initiative. So before anything else, he does get a chance to do that.
Alright.
Well, let him
So-
declare. We're gonna do the declare in order, and then do the backwards thing because there's only one set of combat here. If it was multiple, I would do it. We would
No
go down the
problem.
same.
Basically, he will reach out with Mesmerize and order the priest forward so that he can get within range, or at least in his mind.
Not exactly, Josh. Not exactly. As long as he's got that cross up, if you pull him forward, it's going to push you backwards.
Okay.
Not only that, but no. By all means, give your order, Josh. Let's do this with role play. So command him to come forward.
Yep. So go ahead and make that roll. Manipulation, leadership, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Got to.
So,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and well,
No successes.
yeah. Basically, I just can't I can't reach past this wall of faith that you have over your mind. You are too strong in your,
Brick wall.
All right, so he actually will make that call on the initiative count because of doing it in the reverse order. So you guys next go ahead and declare.
Alright, Evan, what was yours?
The priest is going to simply laugh and simply say, "The power of my God protects me, child. When you come back to his light, when we burn away your flesh and bone, you will know his power and his reverence."
He responds and just kind of laughs sardonically. Well, I'm glad that you have something on your side. You're going to need it.
Okay, if I may declare, well,
Yes.
take out carton of lighter fluid. Open carton of lighter fluid. Spray lighter fluid at creature. Please note, still holding lighter in free hand.
Josh, you would be doused in water fluid, but you are at the top of the initiative. How would you like to respond to being doused in water fluid?
No,
He
actually,
is
doing
attempting
this
to
right.
douse you.
He's already declared. He is already declared. He's going to have to
Yeah.
burn. He's going to have to make a willpower roll. If
Perfectly
he fails
happy to
it,
do it.
if he fails it,
You'll
he
have-
gets doused,
If
and he
you
might still get doused
make
if
the
he makes
willpower roll,
it.
you could
Yeah.
redeclare.
All right. I'll go ahead and do that then. What's the willpower roll?
It's gonna to reach different.
It's just your, it's just your number of dice, your whatever you got in willpower equal to dice.
Okay. All good. Deboosh.
At standard diff.
Well, either way, I got 2 successes, standard div. So
It's not standard diff. It's a difficulty 8, and it's 1 success. Oh no, yeah, because it's difficulty 8, it's 1 success.
Well, one is all you need though. So you're
Yep.
able to, you can make a declaration, you can redeclare, but given the fact that you can redeclare. If I'm looking at the rules correctly, you can redeclare to a defensive action only though.
Yep.
Okay, well that's fine. All I'm planning to do is get away from the freaking fire juice he's attempting to spray.
Well, that would be classified as a defensive action.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So you are making the declare. How would you like to escape? Are you just going to try to disengage?
just
or?
Gonna try and just juke out of the way of it.
All right, make me a Dex athletics, please.
Got it.
It's going to be the same because you redeclared an action. It increases the difficulty of your roll by 2. So that's going to be a fail, Jim.
All right.
Yep, he is correct. So you tried and didn't try hard enough.
All right.
Whoops.
So you got doused by lighter fluid.
Hey, Anthony. Let's go to that wonderful rule involving being set on fire.
Yep.
All right.
It's basically it's not actually that bad, Josh. You're a Ventrue, so you should have fortitude. One hopes.
Oh yes. Yeah, I do.
Okay, so
Yeah.
basically what it's going to be is it's
That
going to
depends
be
on
the thaumaturgy. Well, in the thaumaturgy discipline, it basically tells you how much damage you take based on the size of fire you're in. So it's going to be like a bonfire because that's slightly larger than a campfire, but not an inferno. So you're going to
Human
basically.
size.
Yeah.
Hang on.
So what we do is we roll a dice to see the duration of the fire. So Anthony, roll it's a d6, I think, to determine how many turns you're on fire, and then you can lower that with
Evan,
successive.
Hang on.
Beg your pardon?
Yeah,
Like,
hang on just a
trying to say
second.
something.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
Make me a courage roll real quick, Nathaniel.
Okay,
This is
sure.
not an
Oh,
actual
yeah,
rock
courage.
threat, but this is a courage because of the fact that you got sense enough to realize what's coming.
Okay, well, I probably made it.
He does.
Yeah, you're
Actually,
facing
don't freak out yet.
You're facing down the goth with a lighter.
I like how we've just suddenly gone to goths. Yeah, apparently everyone who has religion is a goth. That's a thing.
Oh no, this guy. No, it's just that this guy specifically is a goth Catholic.
Lower flames. Here we go.
He's a Gotholic.
Bonfire. Difficult. Two levels of aggravated damage. Okay, so basically what happens is when you get lit on fire, because I actually had to look these rules up the other day for a different game. Yay, fire! It solves all problems. What happens is you roll it's a d6 to determine how many turns you're going to be on fire. But you can make dex athletics rolls to basically roll around on the ground, and for every success you get, it lowers the amount of time you're on fire. You're automatically going to be on fire for 1 turn plus your d6 roll.
Okay.
Remember,
Okay. So
we Americans out there that remember this from back in the day. If you stop and roll.
by the way, as you can see, 5 on the d6. So that's 6 turns.
So, okay, yeah, so that's 6 turns. So, Josh, for the first turn you're on fire, please make me a fortitude roll, difficulty 7, because you take 2 ag damage.
Okay. Boop.
You
So
soak
I'm already miraculously healing from this flame.
Well, you soak one, you don't soak the other, so you're actually kind of on fire.
Yeah.
You're down 1 egg, and you're on fire.
But by the way, just a quick, while he's rolling around on the ground, the priest and his retinue are going to depart, laughing maniacally at the fact that, lol, you're on fire. So now make the dex athletics roll to see if you can lower the result of being on fire. It's diff 8 because you're on freaking fire.
Okay. Have no problem with it. The beach.
2. So you lower it by 2, which means you're now only going to be on fire for 4 turns minus 1 because you're taking another fire turn. So roll your soak again. Exact same situation. Okay, you take another ag level. This is starting to hurt an awful effing lot. Why the fuck am I on fire? Oh god.
Yep.
Make another dex athletics roll. If you get 3 successes, you put yourself out.
Still diff 8, though.
Okay, you're on fire for at least another turn, so roll again.
Okay. Not at all.
Doesn't he have to roll for damage?
He is rolling for damage every time he gets he's already taken 2 damage. So he is constantly rolling. Oh, he soaks all the damage that time. That's good. Well done. And one last roll to see if you can put yourself out, or else you'll take 1 last turn, and then you're out of fire.
Okay. No matter what happens this turn, you will at least survive.
Yes, he manages to put himself out, but he is really, really hurt. That hurt a lot. Oh god, why is my skin?
Quite a lot.
Also,
why am I crispy barbecue right now?
As you put out as you're able to douse that last bit of flame, you feel something wet get thrown on you. Something wet and smothering. Followed by what feels like female hands patting on you.
This is the phrase, stop, drop, and roll, motherfucker.
After a second of realizing that you're not on fire, you feel whatever that, now that you've discovered that it was a blanket, removed from you as you see this young lady has stepped back and has reached onto a pocket on her belt as she started to try to bandage your burn wounds. And you also see as she reaches forward, you see wrapped around her upper forearm is what looks to be a piece of white cloth with a literal red cross printed on it.
If I could have just touched them.
I'm sorry, sir?
He quickly kind of, tries to straighten himself up.
Oh, as you say that, you hear a sharp shh in your head.
And he just,
Natural.
yeah, he basically just tries to, act as if he's in agony, and that's not a hard sell right now. Because,
No, it's not.
and, he'll go kind of quiet and inside his little hurricane room, because being trained by a Ventru in fortitude, you develop a hurricane room. So right now he's just internally seething and bashing his own mindscape, just agonizing over the fact that they were this close. If he would have just been able to reach his hand out, he could have crushed their freaking windpipe for potence and just laughed all the way.
Are you okay, sir? Are you okay, sir? You gonna need an ambulance? I mean, you're pretty hurt. I don't want to scare you. I don't want to scare you, but you're hurt pretty bad, sir.
Most likely I will. And, his voice being a little bit deeper because of the, damage to his larynx and the smoke inhalation of himself. He's, speaking a little more raspy.
Okay, sir. What I need you to do, I need you right now. Just lay down. Just be still. I want to make sure you're not hurt any deeper, any worse than you look like you are. You see, she pulls the phone from her pocket, and she begins dialing a 3-number series, and in a couple of moments you hear her speak. Yes, sir, we're going to need EMTs, and she gives out the address of the place. I'm not going to give the actual address because it's pointless. Yeah, burn. We're looking at burn victim times about 15. Yeah, definite priority. And you see she rattles off a bunch of other medical terms. Oh, no, I'm qualified. I don't need to stay on the phone with you. Just make sure you just need to get here. Oh, if we're gonna need fire too. Lots and lots of fire. All right, appreciate it. Oh, my name? Yeah, I can give you that. Yeah, last name Bethesda. First name Maria. You see she rattles and she gives off a number. All right, but like I said, please hurry. Hurry. We got several victims out here. All right, thank you very much. And you see she places the phone back into her pocket. And she continues to try to work on those burn wounds there, Mr. Ashford.
Alright, so basically what I'm going to do now is roll self-control, not because of frenzy, but because of, right now he's going to try and, get his wits back together, get his mind right. So, real quick, just roll in that. And, crap.
Yep, no good.
Yeah, right now he's still dazed from the pain. Basically just seething right now, internally unable to, reconcile the fact of his crushing failure to just stop these human cockroaches hiding in pious rhetoric.
Sir, do you know if you have any allergies or any kind of medication, sir?
And basically just a shake of the head while, internally remonstrating himself.
So basically, she goes through this long list of going through the standard medical the standard medical practice of wound clearing, of wound cleansing, and triage.
Mm-hmm.
And Will, I'm going to throw this in. She has enough humor about her job to throw in, "Are you pregnant?"
No, there's actually another reason why she does that too, but she does say it.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, knowing what's what gender is in front of her, she still says it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, about what feels like about maybe 10 to 15 minutes later, you hear sirens, close, very close. And within about another 5 minutes, you see the sirens, close, very close. And as you're laying, I'm assuming you're still laying there, Ashford.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in his mind.
Yep, you see an actual a medical team actually approach you and go through a lot of the same procedures that she did. You see they actually pull out the pen and have you follow it with your eyes. They take vitals, which actually when they do so, one of them looks at the other oddly. Oh, that can't be right. Take it again. They put the cup back on and
shit.
try to take the vitals again.
They just checked your blood pressure
Crap.
and got nothing.
Sir, are you sure you sir? Are you,
His
I
temp
don't
is
want
a
to scare
little
you. Sir.
off
I'm
too.
getting some weird readings here. This is totally up to you, but we highly recommend that you let us take you to the emergency. Let us take you to the ED.
So, kind of shakily getting to his feet, probably a bit more of a burnt out husk, he starts walking and, starts trying to head off in the opposite direction from which he came. And he'll just kind of, try and stumble off a couple of dice down. The burn victim now rolling Dex Athletics to try and get away from the human pursuers. Seeing how this goes. And still pretty damn spry for a burn guy.
You're down one. Yeah.
No, it's that he's worried about that masquerade breach. That's what that is.
Oh, by the way, by the way, the hilarious thing about this is I already basically discounted the dice from the pool wall, in case you were wondering. Normally my Dex Athletics is 5, and now it's down to 3.
Okay.
Rather than having to do a lot of
Technically, you're down one, but because you only took 2 ag, you're down 1.
Okay.
But
Well,
that's
I'll
okay.
just roll one more
You still
hit.
made it, so.
Woo! Alright. Still, very, very fast
Oh,
for a
Final
little
thing
better.
you actually see, Josh, is basically as you take your exit there, you're able basically turning back to to give them the once over that I'm okay. You see one of the EMTs just stands there, scratching his head, and as you see, he takes his own vitals, and after seeing that it works, looks up at you, then back at the blood pressure cuff, and just scratches his head.
And somewhere, sitting in an armored vehicle speeding through the night of Tarheel, the priest turns to his penitent and simply says, And tonight, brother, we have done the Lord's work. In anime Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
Amen.
And with that, we bring Vitae everywhere to a close.